Have you ever felt the tension between following your heart and obeying a command that makes no sense? Have you ever wondered if there's a larger plan at play in your life, even when the world around you seems chaotic? What would it mean to you to trust in something higher, even when society tells you otherwise? Today we dive into a passage that is not just a slice of ancient text, but a living, breathing guide for modern life. Stick with me, because what you're about to hear could reshape how you see obedience, trust, and divine guidance in the most challenging times of your life. In the book of Genesis, chapter 26, verses 8 through 12, we find Isaac, a man standing on the precipice of uncertainty, caught in a moment that demands obedience against all odds. This is a time when societal norms and expectations collide brutally with divine commands. 8. When Isaac had been there a long time, Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked down from a window and saw Isaac caressing his wife Rebekah. 9. So Abimelech summoned Isaac and said, "She is really your wife. Why did you say, 'She is my sister'?" Isaac answered him, "Because I thought I might lose my life on account of her." 10. Then Abimelech said, "What is this you have done to us? One of the men might well have slept with your wife, and you would have brought guilt upon us." 11. So Abimelech gave orders to all the people, "Anyone who harms this man or his wife shall surely be put to death." 12. Isaac planted crops in that land, and the same year reaped 100-fold, because the Lord blessed him. Imagine this. Isaac has found himself in a foreign land where the norms and expectations are far removed from what he knew. To protect himself and his family, he resorts to a lie. However, God's will prevails in the end. Isaac's obedience, even though tarnished with human fear, results in divine stewardship and abundant blessings. The key lesson here is profound. Obedience to God's commands can lead to blessings that defy our understanding and expectations, even when the way forward appears counterintuitive or fraught with peril. Picture your own life. How often have you stood at a crossroads, torn between the safe path dictated by societal norms and the risky path that's whispered to your soul by a higher calling? In today's world, this tension is palpable. We are constantly bombarded by messages to follow trends, conform to societal expectations, or take the easy route. But what if, like Isaac, your real breakthrough lies in adhering to divine wisdom, even when it seems to clash with conventional advice? Isaac's story is not merely an account of historical events, but a template for our own spiritual journeys. It's a call to embrace obedience and trust in divine guidance, to sow seeds of faith when circumstances try to choke out our courage. Let's delve deeper into this narrative. Notice how Isaac's fear led him to distort the truth. He saw danger and responded with a lie, saying Rebekah was his sister. Isn't that so relatable? We often fudge the truth to protect ourselves when frightened by the unknown. We try to manipulate situations to fit our understanding rather than rely on faith. And yet, in this imperfect obedience, God's plan still unfolds, and a greater good is achieved. What does this teach us today? It tells us that even in our broken attempts at following God's commands, grace abounds. Abimelech, who initially reprimands Isaac for his deceit, ends up protecting him and his family. There's a protective layer that divine obedience wraps around those who seek to follow God's will, even imperfectly. But the real turning point happens in verse 12. Isaac sows crops in a land that's foreign, a land that logically shouldn't yield him anything. Yet, he reaps 100-fold because the Lord blessed him. It's a magnificent illustration. Where logic and norms might predict famine, divine intervention guarantees a miraculous harvest. So how does this translate to your life? Are there areas in which you're holding back your sowing because logic tells you it won't work? Are you hesitating to step into a new career, relationship, or spiritual practice because societal norms dictate a different path? In embracing faith, like Isaac, you might just find a realm of blessings that transcends your human calculations. Maybe it's time to sow those seeds of faith in your life. Think about it. What if God is leading you to plant in what appears to be barren soil, only for you to later find miraculous abundance? Now let's make this practical. Isaac's obedience didn't come without risk. He risked his safety, his standing in the eyes of others, and faced the potential threat of failure. But his steps were guided by a trust in something greater. What are the risks you're unwilling to take because they challenge societal norms or because they don't make logical sense? Could these very actions be the stepping stones to divine favor in your life? In conclusion, the narrative of Isaac and Abimelech in Genesis 26:8-12 elevates our understanding of obedience and trust in divine commands, especially in the face of societal pressures and logical contradictions. It's an invitation to align our actions with a higher purpose, one that promises blessings and protection far beyond what we can grasp. Take this lesson into your life. Meditate on the areas where you're called to obedience. Could today be the day you decide to follow that divine nudge you've been ignoring? Remember, the world needs your light. It needs those seeds you're hesitant to plant. Be like Isaac, sow in faith, and watch as you reap a harvest that defies expectations. If you believe there's a bigger plan for your life, leave a comment saying, "I believe and wait," so that we all know you trust in God's timing. Thank you for joining me on this journey through Genesis. Stay tuned as we continue to unearth the spiritual treasures that await in the next verses. Until then, keep the faith, keep sowing, and trust in the divine harvest to come.